Hi, everybody. Um, it's late Christmas evening. Now, technically the 26th, and I'm recording this. So, happy Kwanzaa, and happy Boxing Day, and happy after Christmas. Christmas is over. I was feeling a little emotionally vulnerable in a good way. I didn't get the chance to spend the holidays with my family this year, which I guess kind of worked out because apparently quite a few flight issues happened. So I might have spent Christmas in an airport if I decided to go home this year. But I had a lovely Christmas. I spent it with many, many great, lovely friends, and played a lot of games and exchanged some gifts and things. Even received a couple, which was very sweet too. So, and I wanted to also open with thank you everybody for the incredibly kind, overwhelmingly positive response to the Reagan stuff that I've posted. The thank you message, the cover, the behind the scenes video, especially. Like, wow, just I've read every comment on YouTube and Twitter and TikTok and everything, and wow, like I genuinely did not expect that kind of a reaction. So thank you for that. That really, really made my week. Related to that, I had been thinking about the possibility of just entirely stopping internet content creation, not creating stuff, but like just stopping like playing the YouTube game and all this sort of thing because truth be told, I've been feeling very invisible lately. A lot of the stuff that I post, I'm lucky if I get like 1,000 views at most. And I've, tried all sorts of different things. I've tried, long videos and shorter things and streams and trendy stuff and whatever. And nothing was really hitting. And I kind of felt like I'm banging my head against the wall. A big focus, and this is a positive thing, a big focus that I've been putting into, and actually a major goal slash kind of a New Year's resolution is I want to build a proper storyboard portfolio, which I've partially been, I've got the content done, and I'm going to build the website for it as soon as the next year starts. I've got a couple friends who have been helping me with that because I want to pursue getting a real job in the animation business next year. While the business is in a little bit of a tizzy right now, as I'm sure many of you have seen with different studios and distributors and things, but it's the reason I came out here originally for in the first place, and I love voiceover, and I'm really glad that I got to do Mob Psycho, and I've got some other projects. River City Girls 2 is a lot of fun. I've got a couple other video games that I've worked on that are going to be coming out pretty soon. In fact, I think actually all like within the first month or two of next year, which is awesome. I love performing, and I want to continue to do that. And I do like posting stuff online. I just started a TikTok like within the last month or so, and people have been very kind, and it's fun to do that stuff. But I don't know, in general, like I've just been feeling very like algorithmically kind of screwed, and just like a lot of the stuff I was putting energy into and not feeling like it was rewarding enough, and or maybe not putting enough energy into, and therefore it wasn't earning enough back. But I don't know, it's such a weird kind of random game to play. But the fact that I ended somewhat the last couple things that I'm producing, other than obviously this video, the fact that it was something that garnered a lot of attention and really positive attention was just really nice. It just made me feel really good, and that was a kind gift that you all gave me. Thank you. So to anybody who's a new like Twitter follower or YouTube subscriber or someone on TikTok, if you found me through that way, thanks. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. That said, I'm not going to stop posting stuff entirely, and there will be other things that I'm going to put online. I usually try to get at least like a video or two out every month, just to like have things out there and remind people that I exist. Because if you're silent for 2 seconds on the internet, people think you disappeared. But I'm going to slow down with content because there's just a lot of other things that I have to focus on. But I have some cool stuff that I'm planning for next year. In fact, I've actually been kind of debating on if I'm going to launch something with this before the end of the year is up in this last couple days we have, or if I might wait until January, I'm not sure. But I do have a new tome project, actually, a little something for next year that I think folks might like, I hope. So I'll talk more about that in a separate video. But one thing I did want to talk about in my somewhat emotionally vulnerable state, relatively recently, and I'm going to get a little, dark and bummery here for a second, so I guess trigger warning, talk of suicide, if that might be something you want to tune out for a bit. I never had the opportunity, unfortunately, at conventions or any kind of events or anything. I never got the chance to meet Jason David Frank, who was the actor that portrayed Tommy the Green Ranger, and Tommy the many other Power Rangers as he was throughout various specials and other seasons and things, some of the stuff that I didn't see until many years later. He was a hero of mine. I didn't know him personally. I never got the chance to meet him. I don't know what kind of person he truly was. I don't know what was going on with like his marriage and some of these things. I'm not really looking to put emphasis on that. But he was a hero of mine growing up, and I didn't even really think about it too hard until recently. Power Rangers, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers that we got in the U.S. in the early 90s based on the Zyu Ranger Sentai series from Japan, of course, was one of the first like really formative things that I had as a kid. I did not have a lot of friends in my early years, but seeing Power Rangers and just connecting with it immediately and loving the action and the colors and the cool toys and the usual type of stuff that would get the kids interested in it in the first place, as I was, I really wanted a team. I really wanted a group, like not just not just friends and not just colleagues, but like a team. I really wanted that. That was something that I always dreamed of, and eventually I got that when I was getting a little bit older and going through elementary school, and I met a lot of my first really close friends that I spent like every day with and hung out with on a constant basis. And but I had just myself for a while, and I remember it was interesting, Tommy's character in particular, that it just hit me after Jason passed. That how big of an influence that particular character was, even in my storytelling now, where you think about a character like Tommy that went from, if those of you that maybe don't know the whole sort of genesis of Power Rangers, but the Green Ranger character in the American Power Ranger show that we got was this sort of edgy outsider guy that starts off as a person manipulated by the villains and becomes evil, and then is turned, and ultimately goes from this bad person who is, hypnotized by the dark side to becoming a member of the team and eventually becoming the leader of the team. And this is obviously knowing that this was like based off of, liberties taken by the writers on the American side of things, and, Saban and whatever. It was very different from the original Japanese Zyu Ranger character, Burai, who's also a great character. I've seen Zyu Ranger as well. I think that's all up on like Discotheque or something. I can't remember, but or Shout Factory actually. Sorry. And those are themes that I realized of like, wow, yeah, no, that really stuck with me. And learning about his passing and why was really sad. I really wish that I got the chance to meet Jason in person. And again, I don't know like truly what kind of person he was. I know people said they had good experiences with him, at like conventions and things. I don't know what his day-to-day life was. I don't know what his, personal issues were or anything. But having someone who was a heroic figure for me, truly, like truly a heroic figure, and someone that in quite a large way was very influential to my kind of early developmental, like, single digits age, that influenced like what I wanted to do with my life. And even it's funny because even beyond just like the story stuff and like wanting to create things and etc. I love Christmas. I love the winter holiday season, because I really love giving gifts. Genuinely, I was spoiled a lot as a kid. I try really, like, literally this Sans hoodie that some of you have commented on. Haha. I voiced the number 2 Tumblr sexy man, but I dress like the number 1 Tumblr sexy man. Lamau. This hoodie was like pretty much the one thing I asked my folks for Christmas this year, because like I was spoiled rotten by my 2 very loving parents who I adore a lot. As a kid, I was given like way too many things as a kid, and now I try to ask for very little, and I try to give back a lot. Ironically, my parents don't often ask for much other than just a call or a card. But I love getting gifts for my friends, and even when I'm not like in the most amazing financial place of my life, not to get too personal on that side of things, but I love a chance to just do something genuinely good for people, and especially when it's like such a simple, traditional kind of way, like just getting somebody a Christmas present. I really love doing that, and it does make me feel good. It does make me feel heroic, I guess for better or worse, but it makes me feel good, and I love doing it, and I love that Christmas is an opportunity to do that. And I'm going to get very nakedly personal about some stuff for a second, and again, trigger warning. I wasn't okay for a while. A couple of years ago. I probably don't have to explain why, and I'm not even going to get into the whole everything on that, but I'm just talking about specifically that I was really not okay for a while. And whether or not I deserved to or should have or otherwise, again, not the point. I just wasn't all right. And around a few months ago, about 3 years ago, there was one day where something happened that was unexpected, not what you're probably thinking. And I'm not going to even get into it, and I'm not going to even offer hints, but something happened. And I've been depressed in my life. I've been down in my life. I've had, bad moments and very, very bad days and moments of self-doubt and self-loathing. That day was the one day of my life that I was genuinely feeling suicidal. And the local friends that actually I got to spend Christmas with tonight, who will remain nameless just because it's personal, but they're good friends. I got to spend Christmas with them by total happenstance. It happened to be like that arrangement of friends that were there for me that night. This worst day of my life from a few years ago. And I am alive because they were there for me that night. They dropped everything at like 1 o'clock in the morning or something. Came over to my house and stayed with me until like 6 or 7 in the morning while I was a snot and tear dripping wreck of a human being, and screaming at them all that, like, I don't trust any of you, and I don't want to go on. And yeah, I might not be here right now if it were not for them. And I've never forgotten that. And I've tried to show my gratefulness to those people as much as humanly possible. And I like to think that I have. I hope that I have. I've tried to tell them that, all of them that were there that night, a small handful of folks. Shortly after that happened, I also had a moment where I was with my family. I think it was around Thanksgiving time, I believe. And I had a lot of thinking to do. And I made a decision after some talks with my family that I was not going to give up. And on every definition of what that means, if I was not going to give up. And I didn't. And I persevered. And I'm still here. And I finished the tome game. And I worked on Mob Psycho. And I got a job as a writer. And I continued to see a therapist. I tried medication. I did all this work. And I was able to come back to the world with a lot of support from a lot of very wonderful people. And since then, I have just been trying to rebuild, and hopefully as the best version of myself that I could possibly be. And that's been my life for, the last few years in summation. And I'm glad that I didn't give up. I was reminded, as sad as this is to say, Jason David Frank taking his own life, if that were to be the truth, which from what I've seen, that's the case, was disheartening and sad and tragic, and my heart goes out to anyone and everyone that ever knew him or loved him or were part of his life. For myself personally, it was also an affirmation of, I can't give up. I don't know what he went through that pushed him to that point. I know for myself the things that brought me to that limit. And they're still in my mind. They still haven't left. And I have to live with that. That's part of how it goes. But ultimately, I kept going. And I'm really grateful that I'm proud of myself that I did. And I'm grateful that I had the people that I had, that I still have, that pushed me to keep going forward. Because not everybody gets to have that. That is a privilege. And I'm very, very grateful for that. So, and I'm still going. I have goals to accomplish and dreams to make true, some of which I've been able to make true in the last couple of years. A lot of that was also thanks to all of you watching that just have, enjoyed and appreciated what I do, just as a creator and as an artist. And that is also a privilege that I get to have people that support me in that way. So thank you for that. I wish I knew what else to say. There's probably other things that I could talk about. But I wanted to share some of my feelings. I have a lot of feelings about a lot of things. But I've been trying to keep everything I've been putting out into the world as positive as I can, regardless of, sometimes that's tough to do. And even what I'm talking about right now, this is probably the closest to that, like, teetering on the edge of negative that I've been, really. Well, I guess other than talking about, like, my issues with my hands that are still prevalent. Haha. Still trying to figure that out. Trying. Yeah, but even with this too, I mean, the positive is that I'm still here. I'm still going. I have a lot to do. And I hope that all you folks out there will continue to stick around. So this isn't the end of me posting stuff. This is definitely not the end of me creating stuff. I'll have news soon about the tome project I mentioned, either before the year is up, like so within the next couple days, or within January. And I've got other projects that I've worked on in various capacities happening. And I'm working on my movie. Still early stages, character designs and writing the script and getting feedback before I start really digging into that. But that's my next big thing that I'd like to do, is balancing act. A lot of the experiences that I've had, I guess just to talk about that for a minute, a lot of the experiences that I've had, particularly the last few years, have actually also been very informative, just as, if not maybe more informative than the influences like Power Rangers when I was a kid. I look back on stuff like that and Dragon Ball and Pokemon and, all these sort of things that formed my tastes and my interests. But it's the things that I've been through as a human being that shaped who I am, and things that I've learned, and my good and even my bad experiences have helped with giving a voice and a meaning behind what am I saying. I know I've talked about that a lot. Like, it wasn't until I finished the 2011 tome series that I realized I was writing a story about trust, which was that became the guiding light for doing the RPG story, because I was like, okay, now I know what I'm talking about. Balancing act took me a really long time to know what I'm saying, because it's a story about self-help and self-love and dealing with trauma. And there was one particular quote that I kind of hit with it. And at this stage this is related to everything. At this stage of the script, it's a phrase that's just as equally important to, life is a balancing act, which is where the title comes from. But something that hit me, that thematically was really important, and it tied everything together from all the stuff that I learned and everything that I'm talking about in this little video, is when I look at what I do every day, whether it be acting, writing, drawing, creating, just being who I am, I think to myself, this is what I live for. Dan Green's podcast, Dan Green and Eric Stewart have been doing this thing, Heart of the Cards, and they've been talking about how none of us earned the life we were given, the time we were given on this earth, but we're the only ones who can spend it, which really resonated to me. Go listen to the Heart of the Cards if you haven't yet, because it's really something. But that was another thing that kind of really established, like, oh yeah, this is my life. This is, and that's who I really am, as a certain con artist would say. Con artist with a heart of silver. So I think that'll do it. Thanks if you listen to all this. I hope you're all having a lovely holiday season. And I'll have more I'll be slowing down a bit, I think, with just stuff on the internet. Maybe just for now. I don't know. But I'm shifting gears. I'm shifting priorities. I'm thinking about different things. And I'm putting my time and effort into different things. And just trying to take care of myself and keep being happy. One of the friends I saw today, the Christmas thing, was like, "Are you doing okay?" And I feel good that I can say, yeah, I'm all right. All things considered, I'm okay. I'm glad that I'm okay. So, hope you're all okay too, as much as you can be. Anyway, I'm gonna go sleep now, because that sounds like a good life decision. I don't know. I think this might be the latest I've recorded a stream of consciousness Kirblog ever, maybe, or at least the first time I've done it this late in a while. But I'm sore. My body's sore. My throat is sore. And like coming down from a sugar high. I ate a lot of gross crap today, snacks and things, and good food too. Good food. Mom sent me a meal, and one of the friends cooked meal tonight as well. So I ate good. And I had one of them good ass peppermint hot chocolates from Starbucks as well. This is not sponsored by Starbucks. I just like them. Anyway. Happy holidays. Thanks a bunch. And I hope all of you out there have a reason to live too. I know that we all do, somewhere. Don't forget it.